This week, I will be presenting to you a small list of unexpected facts and use this as an opportunity to try out different modes of voice for use in this podcast. Here goes. Dolphins can't tell the difference between thirst and hunger. According to the Soviet doctor who purportedly examined Hitler's corpse, the Führer actually only had one testicle. So the song was right all along. Hitler has indeed only got one ball. The last words of Admiral Nelson, according to Alexander Scott, were "God and my country." The WWE Hall of Fame includes not only greats such as Hulk Hogan and Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, but also Drew Carey. Yes, that Drew Carey. At one point, trials were made in using ferrets to draw cables through narrow tubes in the construction of aircraft. This was deemed unsuccessful due to the unreliability of the ferrets involved. Aardvarks are not anteaters. They are more closely related to echidnas and armadillos.
The original name for cotton buds or tops was baby gays.
The patent papers for the fire hydrant were destroyed in a fire. That, Alanis, is fucking irony. The technical term for ice cream brain freeze is sphenopalatine ganglioneuralgia. Say that 10 times fast. It was not until the 1800s that the concept of different shoes for left and right feet was invented.
Black panthers are not a race of their own. They are instead either jaguars or leopards that are melanistic, i.e. the opposite of albinos.
Being exposed to the vacuum of space won't kill you instantly, or even particularly fast. You'll survive at least a couple of minutes, given that you don't inhale deeply before the exposure, as the rapid expansion of air in your lungs would rather rupture them, so to speak. The cold isn't as much of a bother as you'd think, since there is very little matter to divert the heat from your body, and the human body loses very little heat to actual convection in the first place. The lack of pressure is a bit of a bother, but your body is fairly well built to contain all the important bits, and it's not like we live in an all that high pressure environment to begin with. There is no dark side of the moon. The moon is tidally locked to the Earth, not the sun, i.e. there is no part of the moon which is never illuminated by the sun. All the flags planted on the moon are long since faded from the solar radiation. In concrete terms, this means that any alien species poised to invade will first be greeted by a couple of white flags spread around the moon, and thus conclude that the French were the first ones to reach it. We do not only use 10% of our brain. We use all of our brain, just not at the same time. If you fired all your neurons in the brain at once, you'd probably die instantly of neural shock. The fingerprints of koalas are nigh indistinguishable from those of humans. Kangaroos actually have 3 vaginas.